Guys, they show me shame. They dealt with me in that school. If you see anybody that went to a boarding school in Cameroon, please give them a hug. Anybody who went to a boarding school, you guys know, even though we had our worst horrible moments, we had great moments, we had amazing moments. Like, I went to a boarding school for 7 years. Just imagine, 7 years I was in PSS Bancon. That's my alma mater. My alma mater is one of the best schools in the city of Bamenda where I grew up. When I went to boarding school in Form 1, before going to boarding school, I remember the day my mom bought my things. I was so excited. You know, leaving from primary school, you're going to boarding school, you're having that excitement in you, like, oh, I'm going to have my own bed, I'm going to have my own trunk, I'm going to have my box, I have my own stuffs on my own. Most of the times, you're even more excited about the food in your trunk. And I fell under that category. My elder brother was already in PSS, and I was going to join him. My elder brother was in Form 3, and I was coming in as a Form 1 student, as a fresher. I was still new. I knew in my mind that, oh, I've made it in life. So your beat is like a senior caretaker to you. Somebody who looks after you, who makes sure that you're on point, who makes sure that you're okay, especially in the dormitory and even in school. A beat is just a mentor, a senior student who is a caretaker to you. And they are mostly students of a higher class. So this is the interesting part. My first day in boarding school, trust me guys, I didn't cry. They left me in the dormitory. That was when the depression started. The minute you turn and you see your parents going, I don't know, there's just something that just hurts your feelings. It's just like they have come and abandoned you there. You just feel abandoned. Where? Oh, they handed me over to my big. When I went to the dormitory, she made me feel comfortable. I was very happy, excited. First day of school, she organized my things, made sure that I was on point. I was fine, oh. My parents left, and then I was alone in the dormitory with new faces that I've never met before in my life. And I was just looking at them. We're just looking at us. My first day in boarding school in the night, I cried. It was in this school that I realized how witchcraft exists. It's my first night of school. I heard all kinds of stories. We heard stories of there's a trunk in the storeroom. The storeroom is basically where we keep our boxes, our trunk, every belonging of ours. That's where we keep it in the storeroom. We heard stories that there's a trunk or there's a box in the storeroom that has eyes. We heard of Mami Kosh Kosh. The famous story of Mami Kosh Kosh. I'm sure everybody who has ever gone to any boarding school must have heard the story of Mami Kosh Kosh. It just made my first night in boarding school to seem like a horror movie. I didn't sleep. That was the name they gave her, Mami Kosh Kosh. It was a myth. It's a woman who comes in the night, putting on heels, disturbing students, just waking them up. And do you know the scary part, guys? They said she's a witch. Just imagine sleeping in a dormitory knowing that a witch can pull up at any time. Jesus! And then we had what we call, I'll say it in pidgin, kotinte. Kotinte means they come in the night. This mostly happens in the boys' dormitory though. If you're a girl in a boarding school, you're safe. If you're a boy, you're in prison. It's when you're sleeping in the night, they come in the night, they whip you. You're sleeping in the night, someone just come and slap you. Like, you don't even know who slapped you, but someone slaps you. Like, you know what it means for you to be sleeping and you're being woken up with a slap, but you don't know who slapped you. Like, that's just a bare minimum of kotinte. That's just one of the things that happen. And then boys used to go to the extent of taking a spoon. What they do is they take the spoon, they use a gas lighter. Just imagine a spoon, metal. They take fire, lights under the spoon. When it is very hot, they come and they use that spoon. They put the spoon on your toenail. Jesus! They put the spoon under your toes. If you have never been to an environment where they respect people, you see boarding school, you will learn respect by fire, by force. You don't call your senior students by their names. You call them senior. Yes. If I'm a senior student and you're a junior student, you're addressing me Senior Sonia. Calling a senior student by their name is a crime. Without putting senior before the name, it's a crime. A senior has the right to punish you, even though there are certain boundaries that these senior students cannot cross. But there are still some senior students, we call them the bonanzas. If you guys don't know what the bonanza means, bonanza is a senior student who is neither a prefect nor has any position in power, but they are automatically, they are self-proclaimed prefects. A bonanza is a self-proclaimed prefect who has taken upon themselves to be handling the duties of a prefect. Just to traumatize students. just to traumatize students. That's just like there are still the bonanzas who will break the law. But let me tell you guys a story. Remember being in Form 4, I left the refectory that day and coming back to the dormitory, and opposite student wanted to send me. I was like, are you talking to me? Because in my mind, I was like, I'm no longer a junior student. I've bypassed that stage of sending me to run errands. Because the senior students have the right to send you to run errands. I was looking at her like, do you really want to send me? Like, I'm in Form 4. She was like, hey, why are you looking at me like that? Yeah, Form 4, yes, I'll send you. You're still younger than me. It became a drama that day in the dormitory. I ended up working punishment when I was in Form 4. I ended up working punishment. To cut the whole story short, in boarding school, they respect hierarchy. Boarding school stressed the hell out of me. In boarding school, I learned how to bathe with 1.5 liter of water. Like in boarding school, you can bathe with half a pail of water. Really? Because there was always water crisis. There was never water in boarding. Like water was a problem. Water was scarce like dog's tears. In boarding school, right? Water is a valuable possession. It was in boarding school that I learned to bathe with 1.5 liter of water. In boarding school, you know how to dry your uniform overnight. Like let's say for example, if it's in the evening and your uniform is really wet, trust me, by morning that uniform will be dry. Your socks is really wet, by morning that socks will be dry. Boarding school will help you to be independent. Boarding school molds you to be independent from a very young age. You have to make your way. In boarding school, you will check sense. Oh, and then we had what we had a period in boarding school. We used to call that period Grand October. They always put visiting Sundays in the beginning of November because they know that Grand October everybody's dry. You get Continue. That is a period where there is no food in your trunk, so you're solely depending on the refectory. If you miss lunch, if you miss breakfast, if you miss dinner, when you don't have food in your trunk, what are you going to eat? Exactly. What? And most of the times, Form 1 students, junior students, they always fall into this. They always fall under that category. Because of what reason? They are never on time. When you're a junior student in boarding school, trust me, just have it in the back of your mind that your life will be miserable. So in boarding school, there is time for everything. Everything is already been programmed. You already know how your day is going to go. Nobody's supposed to tell you. But the problem is, junior students are not always on time because senior students are always sending them. They're always using them for errands. We have a dormitory captain. Dormitory captain is always like senior students who are assigned to control each dormitory. Oh, so when it's time to wake up, the lights of the dormitory automatically switches on, so to indicate that it's time for you to wake up. When the light automatically switches on, the dormitory captain starts counting. 5 seconds to leave the dormitory. If you're found in the dormitory within those 5 seconds, you're going to work punishment, and it depends on the punishment that the senior then decides to give you. If you're lucky, the senior can tell you, you're going to give me food. If you're not lucky, you will scrub the floor of the dormitory, or worse, scrub the toilets. Oh, Jesus. The worst punishment that they can give you is to scrub the toilet, and then the worst of it all, from one toilet. Oh, and you will do it all. You will do it. Ha! I said in boarding school, after God, it is a senior student. Just imagine you have to clean your portion. You have to go for morning preps. You have to go for morning devotion. You have to go for breakfast. You have to go for class. If you don't follow this routine, the way it has been constructed, respecting the time for each routine, you're always going to be late for everything, because when it's time to go to the ref, you're probably working punishment. When it's time for morning preps, you're probably working punishment because you were late. 5 seconds to leave the dormitory. Within those 5 seconds, you're supposed to leave the dormitory with all of your belongings that you're going to be wearing during the day. Like, say for example, if you're leaving the dormitory that morning, you're supposed to take your uniform, your towel, everything that you're going to need to prepare, because once you leave the dormitory, you're not entering. You're not entering. Whether you forget your socks, your sandals, your pullover, and even your pants, you're not entering the dormitory. You're going up like that. Like, you see all these experiences that I'm telling you guys, I fell under that category. Everything that I'm telling you guys here, I experienced it. And like, everything in boarding school was punishment. There are seniors who will break the law and nothing will happen to them. When I was in Form 1, I remember this was the first time that a senior had ever laid their hands on me. There was a senior student, she was not even a prefect. She was not a prefect. She had dried her nightwear outside. somebody came and pooped on it.
What?
Like, literally pooped on her night. She came to the dormitory. Like, that girl slapped 300 students in one night. That she slapped the whole of Form 1 to Form 3, one person. 3 slaps on both sides. She gave it to us.
What the hell?
She slapped all the junior students that night. It's only a junior student who can commit that act. So she does not care whether you are innocent or not. You're going to be slapped because one person pooped on her nightwear. Wonderful thing. We had some funny rules too in boarding school that you don't take disrespect from a boy. You've robbed. Robbing means embarrassment. You've embarrassed yourself. If you ask a guy out, you've robbed. That's been the worst one. If you're being too comfortable with a boy, you've robbed too. Girls who are being overly close with boys, like they used to take it personal, like it's a crime that you committed against the law.
He shock you.
Puberty is a bad thing. Every guy has experienced puberty. You get. Sometimes you don't even know what is going on. If you don't really have somebody who can put you down and talk to you, like tell you, oh, what you're going through, this is how it's supposed to be. No. I remember when I was in Form 4, one of my classmates, she had a crush on this guy. She went and wrote a love letter. She asked out the boy, like, I really love you. I want us to be in a relationship. Come and see drama. And then the boys too were also childish. It's not even only the girls, the boys were also childish. Because you imagine a girl will write a love letter to you. You carry it to the boys' dormitory and it is a trophy. Like at that point in time, when you ask a boy out, you have upgraded him to another level. You showed the love letter to us. She was being stigmatized both by the boys, by the girls. And then even when we came back to the dormitory, I remember my classmates, they put her in front of the dormitory. And then we have what we call Sahendry. Let me tell you guys what Sahendry is all about. Sahendry is when you commit a crime that you're not supposed to commit. You get. It's when you do something that is against the rules that have been placed by the students. You get. Like maybe say reporting your fellow student to a teacher, reporting your fellow student to maybe say a senior student. Those are the things. Asking a boy out. Some kind of laws or things that you're not supposed to do, that if you do them, they're going to Sahendry you. Sahendry is a disciplinary council that takes place in the dormitory. That's your own classmates are going to be the disciplinary council. You get. You who has committed the crime, they put you in the middle of the dormitory and everybody interrogates you. Everybody is questioning you. Everybody is bullying you. Anybody can say anything they want to say to you. Like, Sahendry is one of the worst things that can happen to you in boarding school. Aside from cleaning the toilet or cleaning the pad bucket. That's the worst thing that can happen to you in boarding school. Because when they Sahendry you, all the people who don't like you, they're going to use that to their advantage. The boys are going to hype their friend. Hi! If you're a guy and a girl asks you out, your standard has gone up. If a girl asks you out in boarding school, you don't blow. You can be overly friendly with the guy and the guy will just go and tell his friends, oh, Sonia is asking me out. And that's just how your reputation, everything is just down the drain. In boarding school, it was very easy to be cheap. Talking to a boy too much, you are a loss. If they see you standing on the corridor with a boy, you are a loss. Those were rules that were not even realistic. Were not even realistic in real life. Like sitting back and looking at it, I'm just imagining like, is that how childish we were? We used to have what we call shipping. Shipping is basically when girls send food to the boys' dormitory or boys send food to the girls' dormitory. We call it shipping. And this mostly happens during Valentine's Day or maybe on a special day, maybe on your birthday. He's going to ship that thing to the dormitory. Fighting for food in the refectory amongst boys and girls. You see my own batch, it was like a talent. We always used to fight for food. They have reached the point where we wrote a complaint to the boundary department to complain that our food was small, like. And then there were particular meals that girls were not supposed to eat, like, say for example, garri and okra. It was embarrassing for a girl to go to the refectory on days where they prepare garri and okra. Not like girls not like garri and okra, but because of the fact that that was a meal for the boys. And I used to call garri and okra in school ngolo. And then we had this thing in school where at the end of the term they have ngolo war. How does ngolo war function?
How do we hear of this?
we fight. Have you ever seen a
Oh
food
my
war?
God.
Have you ever seen a food war? That's what happens during Golo War. They take food, throw on your body, they dance or crawl.
I never
It is just a
expected it.
food fight. They always used to have that at the end of the term because it was a tradition. Since the boys' dormitory was closer to the refectory, boys always had the advantage to go to the refectory early. When they go to the refectory early and it's time to eat, they hurry and put the food on their plates. By the time we, the girls, are coming, food is finished. So we have to start. Like, they were fond of doing it to us over and over again. They go to the refectory earlier than us, and they eat all of the food, leaving us with nothing. In boarding school, you meet all kinds of people, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
You don't know
We had
now,
seniors
but I'm gonna
who
tell
gave
you something.
unrealistic punishment. Like, say for example, a senior will tell you to fill a bucket with a spoon. That's, you go to the tap, you carry water with a spoon and come and fill a bucket with it. How would you even be able to fill a bucket with a spoon?
Went to school.
Or let's talk about the fact that a senior student floods the dormitory with water. What she basically does is she removes all the buckets of water under each bed, floats the dormitory with the water, and tells us to sit inside. Just imagine sitting down in a dirty dormitory that has been flooded with water on the floor, and worst of all, as a girl, and then you're menstruating. Sometimes there were even nights where we would come back after prep and our dormitory captain will refuse that we should not enter the dormitory. So we'll have to stay out in the night till she decides when we enter the dormitory. Preps finishes at 9 o'clock. We have approximately 8 hours to sleep. She's keeping us outside after 9 o'clock. If she decides I will get into the dormitory at 1 o'clock, sometimes they even decide I'll get in the dormitory at 1, 2. We have approximately maybe 2 hours or 3 hours to sleep. By 5 o'clock, she's waking us up at lights on, and she's waking up us within 5 seconds. Even when she decides that we get into the dormitory, she's still giving us 5 seconds to get into the dormitory. So after preps, if she decides that we stay out, when she decides that, okay, it's time for you guys to sleep, 5 seconds to be on your bed with your nightwear. So within 5 seconds, you're supposed to have changed, worn your nightwear, and you're supposed to be already under your blanket. So within those 5 seconds, you're supposed to change, wear your nightwear, and already be asleep under your blanket. If you're up, punishment. Maybe at that point in time you're going to go and carry water. Like, let me not lie to you guys now. If you don't have a good beak in boarding school, you're going to be miserable. But even with all these horrible experiences, we still had good moments. We still had happy moments in boarding school. We still had exciting activities that we had in boarding school. Like, we used to have clubs. And me, for one, I was a scavenger. I was in Bible club. After Bible club, I was in arts and designs. After arts and designs, I was in music club. Like, I was in every club that I decided I want to be in. I was in arts and journalism club. I was a member of the entire boarding school. So, in fact, I was just everywhere. I wanted to try everything that was happening in these clubs. I wanted to see everything that was going on in these clubs. These clubs usually used to take place every Friday of every month. Sometimes 2 Fridays in a month. It just depends. And we also had socials. What happens during socials is we have a sound system.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Meh.
Where students practice, they come and perform. So we used to stage. We had a stage. We had our auditorium. So socials used to take place during the end of the term. During that period, we used to call it Rascal Week, where everybody is just wayward because there's no school activity that's really taking place at that moment. You guys are done with exams, so you're just in school waiting for the day that you guys are going to close. We have socials during Rascal Week, and students practice different music and any song of your choice. Just make sure that you dance well so that you don't cover up. We had Peace Sports. This is another one that was very interesting. Each year, the other Presbyterian schools come to one Presbyterian school and they compete in sporting activities. Let's just say, for example, other Presbyterian schools come to PSS Mancon to compete in sporting activities. Volleyball, basketball, handball, lawn tennis, whatsoever game is there to play. Football in particular. Hey, it was very hot, please. And then dancing competition, singing competition, whatever activity was there to do. Like, it it was fun competing with other schools, and then we used to take it so seriously because everybody wanted to be the best. Like, just imagine the swag after knowing that your school was the best. There was a prize given to the best school that wins. And the competition was like World Cup. We were taking it very seriously. Then there's this other one too that we used to have in school, the Principal's Cup, where Form 4 and lower seats with Form 5 and upper seats, they compete. The Principal's Cup is just the classes now competing among themselves for the Principal's Cup. And then we also have what we call Freshman Match. This Freshman Match, let me just tell you guys the history of Freshman Match. When the school term starts and lower seats come to school before the rest of the
will you keep quiet?
When they come to school, upper seats are in control of them. Upper seats have all the power in their hands. So they treat lower seats as junior students. They send you on errands. Sometimes we go to the refectory, we cannot even eat on time. We're hearing to come back to the refectory because upper seat girls. When I was lower seat, the upper seat girls at time, I don't know what we did to them. They just wanted to make our life a living hell. And it was because of the fact that when we were in Form 5, we did not also spare them when they were lower seat. So it's just kind of, it's just like a tit for tat kind of thing. They want revenge, so they are going to do it to us. We did not like to have a taste of our own medicine, no. Because these girls, they came for blood. And they dealt with us because when we came to school, they gave us everything back the way we gave it to them. The Freshman Match comes with a rule where the lower seat boys and the upper seat boys, they have to play a football match. The whole point of this freshman depends on the lower seat boys. If the lower seat boys, they lose the match to the upper seat guys, they will continue treating us as slaves till they hand over to us. But if we win, everything stops. We gain back our power, we gain back our respect, and we continue living our lives as senior students without the upper seats having any right to send us on errands, maltreat us, control us. No, we automatically have our power back into our hands. And behold, guys, these lower seat boys of us, they lost the match. They lost the match. So it just had to be that these girls had to maltreat us till second term. But we could not accept it all. We had the DJs, we had the musicians, we had the dancers, we had the singers. Anybody find your own category, fall under, and we come up with beautiful music to entertain ourselves. We dance, we laugh, we just vibe. Then we had another thing too in school. We used to call it shock. What happens during shock is that just hear the word shock. What happens during shock is during the third term promotion exams where you have to be promoted to the next class. Shock happens only for Form 4s and lower seats. It happens for everybody, but Form 4s and lower seats, theirs is really intense because the upper seats and the Form 5 students, they go out of their way to just give you unnecessary tension and trauma that you're going to feel. They give you unnecessary pressure, unnecessary tension. They write songs, they sing all kinds of songs about you failing, mocking you that you're going to fail. They go even to the extent of writing your name on random places in school, writing your name on the wall. And the worst of all is if you're a girl who maybe you're in a relationship. Oh, you think they're wise? The relationship as a motivating factor to really put you through it. When the third term finally ends, at that moment when they're giving your report card, on closing day, your report card does not belong to you. It belongs to the lowest and Form 4 student. As they give your report card, as you see your results, they seize it from your hand. If you are lucky enough, maybe you have it back. They want to know your results so that they can further mock you, further traumatize you, further disgrace you, further laugh at you. In fact, we'll leave this one for today. So make sure that you like this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you join the Bougie gang. I'm waiting to see you guys in my next video. So without much further ado, I love you guys always, and until then, bye.